All right, here's the deal. I wish I could tell you I was fighting a bear. I wish I could tell you I was fighting aliens. I wish I could tell you I was rolling around on the ground with some zombies, but I cannot. Nope, didn't go to the dock. Okay, I'll tell you the whole story from. I got to stop answering questions. Sorry, that way I get through the whole story. Here comes the story, start to finish. So I got done with the live. It's loud in my ear though. Oh, we'll see. You know what? It hurts less when I'm walking, to be perfectly honest. It hurts way less. Takes the pressure off. When I'm sitting, it sort of pinches everything. So this is what happened. I got done. Yeah, right. I took one day off and I got spanked for it. Okay. Oh, Godiva. Chocolate will probably fix me. Huh. I think we might have to scope that out later. So this is what happened. I got done with the live. By the time I got home, which was only like 15 minutes after the live, because I live close to the strip, as most of you guys know, and gals. So by the time I got home, YouTube was sending me all the spankification notifications. So I was in a mad rush to adjust that video, pull it down, do whatever I had to do to avoid a copyright strike, right? And that was a good one. I had fun, you guys had fun, it was a good hour and a half. So I just finished re-editing what I wanted to re-upload. And it had 4 minutes and 38 seconds left. And I'm still, see, these are correct. See, this is how we roll in the US. I'm sorry, my across the pond people. This is how we roll here. If I came across the pond, I'd walk down one of these and I'd bust my other shoulder. And you'd have to pick me up or keep me at your house for a month. Okay, so what happened was I had 4 minutes and 38 seconds and I still had all my clothes on, right? So dig this. So I kick my shoes off as soon as I get in the house. I never ever, I thought that said BrorNation. That's funny. I think these painkillers got me wonked. Anyway, so I kick my shoes off when I first get into the house. That's a given, because I don't want to bring in, all the street shit into the house. So those are already off, but I had my socks on. So with that 4 minutes and 38 seconds, I decided, yeah, there's a lot of traffic in here to tell you the truth. So I decided, all right, let me get comfortable. Let me slip into something a little more comfortable. So I went to slip into something a little more comfortable. And for the past decades, hey, I'm not going to say how many decades, but for the past decades of my existence on this planet, I always did everything standing up. I put on my pants standing up, take them off standing up, put on my shoes for the most part standing up. It's just the way I've always rolled. So I jacked up my shoulder, taking off my pants. You can laugh, go ahead, it's all good, but I'm taking off my pants, right? So I got my left foot on the ground, I got my two hands around the waistband of my jeans, and I'm sliding the other leg up out of my jeans, which are admittedly were a little tight than I'm used to. So what happened was, can't believe I'm telling you guys this, but you guys are family. If I ain't gonna confess to you, I ain't gonna confess to nobody. Maybe this is cathartic. Maybe you can learn something from it. Okay, so I'm pulling my right leg. Let me see if I can do this from a distance. I'm gonna turn it around. They weren't all that tight. I put on a couple of gains in my legs, so they were a little snug around my thighs. So I'm pulling out, and mind you, I still have my socks on. My walking socks, which are like extra thick with padding on the bottom. So I'm pulling my right leg up, and my foot gets stuck in the jeans. So it's like, it's stuck halfway. I couldn't pull it all the way out because the fabric of the jeans and the fabric of the sock melded into one. So I felt myself starting to lose my balance. So I started doing that hop, 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 hop thing on one foot. But I still got my sock on the other foot. Let's check out Santa. Santa will make me feel good. No, they weren't skinny jeans. They weren't skinny jeans. I just do a lot of squats. Oh, Santa. Hi, Santa. Santa gave us a shout out. That's cool. Hope they didn't take a picture like that. All right, so, yeah, you know the deal, Phil. You know, you get the butt, you know, going on so that it pulls everything a little tight. Nothing you can do about it. Okay, so I get trapped. I'm starting to do this little hop thing, 1, 2, 3. And I had to, you know, I'm on my one foot. So what I did was to try to regain my balance, I tried putting my other foot down. That way I can hold, you know, I get something going on here. Okay, that didn't work because my foot is still all tied up in the middle of these jeans. So when I went, because my hand's going down. So the whole thing with the hopping, hands getting caught in the jeans, that whole bit, it was like a nanosecond. But the fall, that took about a week. It was like one of those super, I just need some air. Hold on. I'm kind of hot. Okay, so the fall itself took at least a week by the time I fell. But it swooped out my other leg, out from under me. So my entire weight, my entire 195 pounds, landed on my shoulder. And I got hardwood floors, no carpet, no nothing. And I knew instinctively where I was because I had a weak, you know, slow motion to see. I saw my head heading towards the frame of the bed, you know, like thin, sharp, you know, like that. And just by instinct, on the way down, like frickin' Greg Louganis, I sort of twisted to prevent my skull from being cracked open. And my entire weight of my body landed on my shoulder. And I felt the shoulder pop out immediately. I felt it pop out instantly. I'm going to find some place to sit. So I just felt it. I knew it. I've never had it happen before, but I knew it in the pit of my gut that my shoulder had popped out because it got all freaking squishy, right? You know, like when my shoulder hit, it went squish instead of like boom. So I knew it popped out. Okay, so I don't know how I got up, but I got up like super freaking quick somehow. And of course, I knew it was out. You know, it was hanging out. It was in a ton of pain. It was just flopping around. I think we found a spot over here. Hold on. Yeah, pure adrenaline. I mean, pure adrenaline. Somehow I got up. I pulled the jeans back on. Let me put this down. All right, let's take a look over there. There we go. Okay, there we go. That's better. All right, so it gets better, right? The story ain't over yet. So, let me take this mask off. Hold on. Whew. Okay, that's better. I'm taking a little pressure off my shoulder too. Hey, Luis. All right, back to the story. So I knew the shoulder was jacked up, right? So I get up, and my first thought, well, I'll tell you what my two thoughts were, because like I said, it took a week for me to actually hit the ground. You know, it was like one of those surreal slow motion things. My life did not flash before my eyes because I knew my head wasn't going to crack open on the bed frame because I was in the bedroom. And if I didn't duck, my temple would have hit that. So I did this like diver thing, whatever, boom. Okay. So my two thoughts I had on the way down were, oh my God, YouTube. Believe it or not, because you guys are like family. So I was like, oh, you know, I was just gonna, on the way down, I didn't even know the extent of how I was gonna hurt myself, but I was thinking about YouTube, not about the money, just like, I hope I can still do YouTube. And then I was thinking, oh my God, the gym. So my two thoughts that flashed through my eyes were YouTube and the gym. And I'll be perfectly honest with everyone, that's different because normally, I think before YouTube and before bonding with everyone, the BrorNation, I think my first thought would have been gym, and my second thought would have been YouTube or whatever I happen to be focused on. Because the gym has always been that important. But on the way down on this fall, my first thought was YouTube. And when I say YouTube, I'm talking about all you guys who are, digging me right now. And then my second thought was gym, because I can't imagine life without either right now, because I just enjoy the shit out of YouTube and I enjoy you guys that much, and I enjoy working out that much. So I couldn't imagine life without either. Let me give you a little better view. Let's switch this camera a little around here. I'm tired of looking at that place, right? I got it electronic, that way I don't have to move my hand. There we go. Let's look at the wind core. Okay, so back to the story. So I'm thinking, oh shit, YouTube, oh shit, the gym, and then that squishy, disgusting smash on my shoulder. So adrenaline got my ass up off the floor, and I got off the floor, and somehow I still slid my pants up, and I knew my shoulder was jacked up. I mean, I just knew it. You just know it. And then I'm thinking, so my thoughts after that were, Lethal Weapon, Mel Gibson used to like bang his shoulder on a door and it used to pop back in place. That's just jive, because that's not how a dislocated shoulder works unless you pop it out from the front. But I couldn't imagine doing that, right? So I knew I had to pop my shoulder back in myself. I knew it. So I went into the bathroom and I had to see what was going on. So I went and I took a look because I wanted to make sure that the bone on the top was not broken, because that's the only one that breaks in a shoulder injury. There's like a little bone on top of the socket. So if that was broken, then I was just absolutely effed. So, okay, I go look, bone is not broken on the top, so I'm in good shape. But my arm is like 3 inches lower than where it's supposed to be, and I have this pinching in my armpit. And I'm like, okay. So I bend slightly over because I can't really lift my arm. And the humerus, whoever named it humerus, was one dark MFer, because there was absolutely nothing humorous about seeing my humerus sticking out of my armpit. I mean, it wasn't poking through the skin, obviously, but it was legitimately in my armpit. Okay. So I'm like, well, this, like, extra sucks. Okay, it's in my armpit. It belongs all the way up here. My hand wasn't quite going numb yet. So I said, all right, I've seen enough movies. I've seen all the movies. I wasn't doing the Lethal Weapon thing because I knew where it was. So I said, I know you got to yank the arm and put it back in. There's no way, no getting around that. So I grab onto something and I'm pulling and I'm pulling and I'm pulling with all my might. I mean, like I was deadlifting. It wouldn't pop back in. Let me try again. Nope, wouldn't pop back in. Let me try again. I mean, I'm yanking and I'm yanking on this thing, but I got to pull it like out and then back up. So it would not pop back in the socket. All right, so I'm like, what am I going to do now? So I start looking, I pick up the phone, and I can't say, hey, who, when you activate your phone, right? So I'm like, where is the nearest quick care? Because I didn't want to go to the hospital, right? Because I'm thinking, if I go to the hospital, there's a chance that, I might never make it out, call me crazy. So I didn't want to go there. So I figured, okay, quick care, and I'm thinking, holy shit, this is going to cost me like 10 grand for someone to pop this back in, but I couldn't do it myself. So I'm looking for a quick care. There wasn't one quick care in all of Las Vegas that was actually open. And this is I don't know, 10:30, 11:30, something like that. I don't know, whatever it was. Let's get moving a little bit. No, let me give my shoulder one more rest here. Okay, so I'm sweating this. I'm like, one of them said they was open, and so I call them to make sure, and it's ringing, and it's ringing, and it's ringing, and they're taking their sweet ass time, and finally they're like, oh, we do online emergency care. I'm like, on freaking line? How do you do urgent care online? You know, I, what do I take a picture? And he's like, yeah, and then I'm like, yeah. I mean, how do you do that online? So I hung up. So then I said to myself, all right, I got some neighbors, that I'm okay with, and they're dudes, so they could yank on my arm pretty good, I'm sure. But now, bear in mind, like a half hour, 45 minutes has passed already at this point. My arm's at my side, my humerus is stuck up in my armpit, and I'm like, fuck. All right. So I go outside, and I go knock on my neighbor's door. Me and him, ride or die, you watch yours, I'll watch mine, this whole bit. Okay, cool, bro. And I could hear the TV on. So I go thumping on the door. I mean, you don't want people banging on your door. When someone bangs on your door at midnight, it's generally not a good thing. But I know he's got one of them cameras, where you can see who's there. Okay, cool. And I could hear him. He's either playing a video game or he's got the TV on. I don't know, whatever. But bam, 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 bam. I'm like, yo, bam, 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 bam. First I'm using the doorbell, then I'm just like banging on the door. Not like a cop, but I'm like knocking on the door pretty good. You know what I hear? The TV or whatever he was playing gets lower. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, no one's home, right? That was a dead giveaway. He lowered it. All right, so knocked a few more times, pretending he wasn't home, I guess. But look out the door. At least look out. If someone's banging on my door, I'll probably look out another window and have a heater ready, just in case something's going on. Didn't even bother. So I go down the block. This is like an episode from frickin', like Friday the 13th, running away. Okay, so I'm running out in the street. I go to my other neighbor who I'm cool with. Happens to work across the street here. And I hear his TV on. So I go knocking on his door. Bam, 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 bam. Because I wanted someone to yank my frickin' shoulder out. Time's passing. Now we're into like almost an hour. Same thing happens. TV gets lower. I mean, is that what you do when you want to pretend you're not home? Oh, if I lower the TV now, they think I'm not home? Okay, cool, whatever. I'll give them both a pass. I saw one of them this morning. Didn't say anything. He didn't say nothing to me. And I was just like, I felt like saying, yo, that was me, in like dire straits, needing my freaking arm yanked out, bro. And no such luck. Okay, so I let him off the hook. I mean, I'm not really down with people banging on my door at midnight either, but, I look, I'm just one of those people. All right, so walk back, and I'm thinking it's either the hospital or I just get this done. Somehow, some way, I get this done. I tried from the side, I tried from the front, I tried from the back, I tried every angle to pop this thing in. And by this time, my hand is starting to get numb. So I really don't have much strength left in my grip at all because everything was stretched 3 inches, and because my freaking humerus was in my armpit, it belongs 3 inches up from there. So I said, okay, this is it, and then I guess I'm gonna have to somehow make it to an emergency room. And then I'm thinking, which is a sad state of affairs, that it's gonna cost me 10 freaking grand to go to the hospital. That's if they don't admit me and whatever. Okay. So, but I knew the bone wasn't broken because I touched it. I was literally able to feel all the different bones, where they were supposed to go. So I knew nothing was broken, and nothing had popped. I didn't pop my bicep, I didn't pop a tricep, I didn't pop a delt because I could feel those too. You would know they knot up. Been around the gym long enough to see that. So I gave it one last ditch effort. I grabbed onto a handrail with the last bit of strength that I had in this hand, and I held it with the other by the wrist, and I started pulling. But then what I realized is like I was trying to prevent myself from ripping my own arm out. So then I had to tell myself, relax your bicep, because in the effort of pulling, I realized that I was like pulling back using my bicep strength. So the minute I relaxed my bicep and just gripped with my hand and my forearm and nothing else, didn't try to prevent it, I felt it move. I could feel it slide that entire 3 inches, and then I just like twisted at the elbow. I stuck my other hand in my armpit, and then I twisted my elbow and I guided it back in, and it went boink right back into place. Huh. So that was an adventure, to say the least. So it finally came back in, and I went in the mirror and I could see that it was back in. I could feel that it was back in. Let me give you guys something to look at here. Let's get mobile. It was freaking gruesome, dude. I'm finally looking at the picture. Sorry. I had to tell that story like that. Okay, so it was gruesome AF. Having your humerus, and there was nothing freaking funny about it whatsoever, having your humerus bone poking out of your armpit was a buzzkill. An epic buzzkill. And bear in mind, okay, laugh again if you want, but this happened while I was taking off my pants by myself. So, let's see, should we cross? No, let's go this way. Yeah, it would have been better if, like I was fighting a bear or zombies or something like that. So I was taking off my freaking pants when this happened. What a buzzkill. And bear in mind, I've been stabbed. I've been shot at. I spent 48 hours on a mountain in Montana surviving with a friend until Ted Turner's security team came and rescued us after 48 hours in frickin' January. I've survived a lot of shit in my life, and to go down that hard, taking off my pants, sucked. I wish there was a better story attached to it, but it's a cautionary tale, because I've been putting on my pants and putting on my shoes and putting on my socks like that basically my entire life. So I guess in the grand scheme of things, I probably got pretty lucky, that I hadn't had something like that happen ever. So what does that mean now? Does that mean I gotta put my pants and socks on like a normal person sitting on a bed? Well, for now, yeah. So that's the deal. So I never ended up going to a hospital. I've been eating, Tylenol and Motrins and all that. They weren't all that tight. Just around the thigh edge area. What's up? No, maybe later. I appreciate that. I'll come check you out. Hold on. I dropped something. Did he ask me on a date? Or did he want me to come buy a beer? He's like, hey, why don't you come in for a beer? Yeah, I knew someone was going to say it was an age thing, but like I said, I've done that my entire freaking life. I always I don't know. I just always put on my socks standing up on one leg, but it was the first time that I ever did it with socks on, and my bedroom floor is slippery AF. I don't have carpet in there. It's a combination of hardwood and porcelain tile, believe it or not. Probably not the brightest thing for a bedroom, but that's how I got the place. Looks pretty cool. Oh, let's get past this music. So, it's kind of a life-changing thing. Now, how does that affect me right now? It couldn't blow enough. Yeah, I'd rather see that's probably what I should do. Just raw dog it everywhere. Okay, we're gonna cross the street. I cannot do this without. I cannot remain stationary. We're gonna go over to the wind, then we'll walk back. All right, let's go. Hold on. I gotta pay extra attention now. Cause I'm a freaking one-armed Tyrannosaurus. I have no range of motion in the arm as of right now. Probably if I put it back in the socket quicker, it probably would have been a little less damage. But thank you, Alan. I appreciate that. It probably would have been a little more damage, but it stayed stretched out for, quite a while. I have total mobility in my bicep and tricep, except my arm and my shoulder is like twice the size. I wish it was that big when I, normally, but it's pretty swollen up. And there's a ton of bruising around my bicep area. The vein in the bicep, there's a lot of bruising there, so it might be a little micro tear in there, but I brewed up. I'm into Chinese medicine, so I had some herbal concoctions brewed up, and I put that on that area like right away, and it went from black and blue already to that weird orange, yellow, green already. So that's thanks to that stuff. Rotator cuff, everything got stretched. Nothing popped. There might be some tears. There might be some micro tears. Thankfully I work out. So I couldn't imagine if I didn't have, I don't have giant shoulders, but I got decent shoulderage. I couldn't imagine if I didn't have that meat to absorb it, what would have happened. So I'm kind of thankful for that. Let's go look in here. Yeah, it's an herbal concoction. I could give you guys the recipe someday, but it freaking worked. I'm putting that on. It's like I made up one that's semi-analgesic for the pain. But what it does is, for all intents and purposes, is really, really, really increase the circulation in the area, because swelling, and it's freaking swollen like crazy right now. Swelling inhibits the blood flow. Inhibited blood flow causes, it's what causes the most damage when you inhibit blood flow to an area. But swelling is your body's natural response to something traumatic like that. So that stuff gets the blood flowing back in the area, even though it's swollen. Yeah, it's probably tiger blood in that. But I got some Viking. I wish I could tell you a great story about it, but I'm here to tell you that I was taking off my pants. I guess that's a good story too, if I embellish a little bit.